Hello everyone and welcome to Behavior Breaks presented by the Arkansas Behavior Support Specialist. Today I'm going to be talking about preference assessments and using them in your classroom. Hi there, I'm Allison Mears and I am so excited you are joining me today. Let's dive right in. Have you ever wished you could increase learning or student motivation? How about wishing you could decrease challenging behaviors? Or maybe you just wish you could have a list of your students' interests and likes. Well, having current preference assessments can be one tool that you can use to help address these issues. A preference assessment is conducted to identify potential reinforcers. Now, we don't know if these items are really reinforcers until we see if applying the items actually increases the behavior. But this is a great place to start in identifying those things that the student may work for. There are many types of preference assessments, but today we are going to focus on two types. Number one, inventories and interviews, and number two, free operant observation. Let's get started with inventories or interviews. This information can be gathered several different ways. You can ask the student, you could have them complete a form, or you could ask the parents or caregivers. This type of preference assessment is considered to be an indirect method and does not provide a ranking, but merely a list of potential reinforcers.
Today, I'd like to show you a few options for inventories and surveys. First, let's take a look at this one, the Student Reinforcement Survey. This survey could be given to the student to complete or could be administered as an interview format with you just asking questions of the student. The survey begins by asking the student their favorite adult, their best friends, what they like to do in their free time. It even asks what kind of punishment at school they hate the most. The next section focuses on their favorite edible reinforcers. What are their favorite foods? What candies do they like? What about their favorite vegetables, drinks, snacks? And the final section focuses on whether or not they like certain academic reinforcers, such as going to the library, making projects, getting a good note home, all the way through tangible items, activities, social reinforcers, and recreation leisure reinforcers. The next inventory or interview type of preference assessment is the reinforcer checklist. The student chooses yes or no to the item if they think the item is something he or she would like to earn as a reward for working hard in school. The checklist is divided into 4 sections: activities, materials, food, and social. After completing, the student ranks their top 5 incentives or reinforcers or items from the checklist. Remember, this does not provide you with a list of reinforcers, but merely a list of potential reinforcers. We would have to see if the student's behavior changes as a result of the item for it to actually be a reinforcer. The last interview type of preference assessments that we will discuss today is the Reinforcer Assessment for Individuals with Severe Disability, or the RAISD. This assessment is designed to be a structured interview with the teacher, the parent, or the caregiver to gain as much information as possible to be able to compile a list of potential reinforcers. Basically, you ask these 10 questions, you record the responses, and you will ask any follow-up questions to gather more specific answers if needed. After you've asked all of the questions, you will have the informant help you rank the top 16 reinforcers or potential reinforcers.
So now you have seen 3 different types of inventories or interviews. Number 1, the student reinforcement survey. Number 2, the reinforcer checklist. And number 3, the raised. These 3 documents will be available in this behavior break section of our website for you to download and use. Now let's switch gears just a tad and check out a different type of preference assessment. This time I will be discussing a direct observation tool, the free operant observation. The free operant observation was developed by H.S. Rohn and colleagues in 1998 and involves allowing the student unrestricted access to all materials without demands. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, it looks like this. The student's in a room with toys and they are free to play and interact with the toys for as long as they choose. But here's a tip. It's a good idea if the kid knows the toys in the room, so they are actually choosing the toys they want to play with and not just the toys that they are seeing for the first time. So typically, you'll set a time limit, 15-20 minutes, and observe the student and document what they prefer. The procedure looks like this. You'll need a data sheet, a time limit, you observe the student, and then you record the data. So let's look at a data sheet now. And so you can see how long he played with the basketball, how long he played with the phone, etc. Once the session is over, you would review the data sheet and determine which item held the child's interest or attention longest. The length of time may not necessarily be a hierarchy of preferences, but it can be a great place to start when trying to determine interest. And that's it. Now you have 2 different types of preference assessments you can conduct to make sure you are using items that your students value and enjoy, which is likely to increase motivation. So next time your students do not want to complete work, check your preference assessments and make sure they are current and you are using items that they prefer and not just ones you think they should prefer. Be sure to keep checking back for more behavior breaks sponsored by the Arkansas Behavior Support Specialist. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.